This video is entitled Circuitous Confrontations for a reason, because you're always feeding your own drama, and that's what's coming back and slamming you right in your face. You're projecting it out, it's a bounce back, and boom. It's like an echo. You scream, it screams. Throw in a boomerang, throw it hard, it comes back hard. That's exactly what's going on. You have to understand something. The beauty, let me say this word again, the beauty of ascension is such that your perceptive lens is now aligned with the higher vibration of being able to have a persistence of vision in sensing and viewing the divine plan at work in your life right now, as opposed to the egocentric contrivances of that blinded, conditioned perceptive lens that has been continuously under the control of from external sources. Like, what I'm trying to say is that right now in your life, the divine plan is at work. It's just that you can't recognize it because you're attached to a satanic matrix that will not allow you to recognize it. That's why I say circuitous confrontations, meaning you're projecting negative unconsciously, and boom, it hits you right in your face again and again. And you keep blaming other people or the system or society or your family or all the people that hurt you in your life, but you don't realize that they're getting you to do it to yourself. And at the same time, you're blocking the divine plan because you don't even recognize it at work in your life. You don't even see it. So what you're doing is you're tethering your feelings and emotions to these past painful experiences, and you're giving that energy in life. And at the same time, you're lowering your vibration and you're blocking all of these divine gifts that are attempting to make their way into the inner sanctum of your physical reality. I'm hoping you're following me on this one. It's very important that you listen to me. Not hear me, listen to me. What I'm trying to say here. God's plan is at work in your life, whether you realize it or not. You have to elevate your perceptive lens to such an ascended degree that you can truly perceive these things as actually happening and occurring. Because if you allow the ego to remain in control of your perceptive lens, it will keep you blinded to actually what's going on in your life because it's unrecognizable. The ego is going to tell you, this isn't what we want. We deny this. We reject this. We absolutely send it back. We decline this offer. We block it. We refuse to receive it. We shut our doors to it. No allowance, no permittance cannot come through. It is not allowed to gain entrance because your mind is conditioned to only receive and send signals that benefit the satanic matrix and demonic unconsciousness. Please follow me. You have to be able to recognize that God is always at work attempting to help you help yourself to get out of that hole you're in called the matrix. Okay, it's very important. That's why I say circuitous, meaning going in circles constantly. It's cyclical, round and round and round. You're not going anywhere. It just keeps repeating itself. So you have to be able to have a perceptive lens that is attuned to the vibrations of something that is the opposite of a victim mentality and something that is an opposite of a separatism, disconnected mentality. That disconnection, that sense of disconnection, like God has abandoned me, God has forsaken my soul. No destiny has ever been left forsaken. Trust me. If you believe that, just breathe in because every breath is given. None are ever taken. So that being said, you have to understand that the universe is offering you something better. So that rejection that you just encountered, that's the universe sending you somewhere else because that rejection, if you would have actually have connected with that and actually have established some sort of accomplished goal that would have been achieved, that would have taken you to a bad place. Or like, suppose you want to ask somebody out on a date and they say no. That's because the universe is protecting you from yourself, from your programming, because that person is carrying a lot of energy that would be detrimental to you and cause great harm, and that would adversely affect you emotionally in your life and just cause you to have no progress in your life. You'd wind up adopting and assimilating all of their baggage from all of the people that hurt him or that hurt them, and it would affect you gravely and slow down your progress and impede your journey just horrifically. So the universe always knows this. So a rejection of any kind in life is you being sent somewhere else, because you always have to say to yourself, I know that God has got better for me. I know that God is sending me somewhere else. When I say God, I'm not referring to religion. I'm saying Genesis of destiny, creator, source, whatever name you want to use. But you have to recognize the divine plan is always hard at work in your life. You just have to have the proper perceptive lens to see these things. When you're angry and bitter and upset, that means you're plugged into the ego. That means you're dialed into the matrix. And you're going to be blind and blinded to the high vibrational frequencies of the divine plan at work in your life. You're going to see it as an attack, a threat, a nemesis, the enemy, somebody warring against you, contriving against you, out to get you. That's how you are programmed to think. The whole world is out to get me. That's why you keep viewing life through the eyes of war. There's only enemies. They're all out to get me. Existential threats. An invisible boogeyman outside my door. I've got to go kill him. I got to fill my whole house with cameras and surveillance equipment and motion detectors and all of this crazy stuff. Seriously. The universe is always working in your favor, whether you realize it or not. I always say never allow your pride to block the blessings of God, but never allow your ignorance to block the blessings of God either. Your oblivious ignorance, because you're programmed to be ignorant, because they are dumbing people down right now. That's what TikTok is all about. And Facebook and Instagram, all of those things, all those platforms are designed to devolve your level of intelligence. At the same time, video shorts are designed to make sure you have absolutely no focus or concentration anymore. So you won't be able to create anything of substance because you can't sit still long enough to make that happen and to make that an actual reality. So recognize that God's plan is always at work in your life, whether you realize it or not, whether you perceive it or not, whether you see it or not, whether you believe it or not, whether you sense it or not, whether you're aware of it or not. Whether you are willing to receive it or not. It is the truth. Align with the divine within, and that's when you will perceive these things actually happening. What you perceive as a threat is a freaking blessing. What you perceive as a rejection is God sending you to something better, because that thing you're trying to get connected with would have hurt you in some way. You're going down the wrong road. You're traveling down the wrong path. You're going in the wrong direction. You, my friend, have veered off course because you are out of alignment. Just like a car. When your car is out of alignment, what does it do? It doesn't drive straight. It drifts. We're talking the same thing. And when your tires are not balanced, it shakes itself apart. Right? So we're talking about balance, alignment, equilibrium, harmony, awareness, enlightenment, awakening, ascension. It's all one. So therefore, you have to be in alignment with the divine. Nothing is being done to hurt you. God is not against you. And you have to stop blaming God, because the last time I checked, God doesn't owe you anything. You owe God everything. When was the last time you can remember that God complained to you about anything? And when was the last time you remember that you can remember that you complained to God about everything? You see what I'm saying? So you have to recognize what's going on here. You have to be able to attune your perceptive lens to say, that guy on YouTube is right. I'm not going to have a victim mentality anymore. I'm not going to be egocentric and petty and childish and envious and jealous and insecure and butthurt because things aren't going my way, and I have to have a temper tantrum like a little child on the floor, with my arms crossed and, just banging your legs on the floor and screaming and kicking and cursing and crying and having a freaking meltdown like a little child, like so many people are, because things didn't go their way and they just give up and they just forget about it. Oh, this doesn't work. This is garbage. Let me go back to my video games and my YouTube and my internet and that insanity. The universe doesn't work on your timetable. The universe does not run on an egocentric timetable. There's no deadline or any like a PowerPoint presentation or something like that the universe is going to show up to. It's divine right time in divine volition, all things. So you have to get in alignment with the fact that everything not only happens for a certain purpose, but it happens exactly when it's supposed to happen, because there's a specific season for things to happen. Just like in the winter, you don't see flowers growing, but in the spring, that's when they bloom, because that is the right environment that is conducive to allow that process to occur to its fullest expressive potential. That's exactly what we're talking here. So it's not a matter of just if, but when, but both. It's if, not if, excuse me, not when, not what, but when. That's what I meant to say. Because it all works in tandem. So you have these blessings coming. That's a given. You're like, when? Well, when in divine right time. You have to be a vibrational equivalent component to these things. In other words, the reason why you're going through what you're going through, those experiences are building character. They're making you into somebody else that fits that slot of that future position that you have to fit and fill and occupy and, fulfill all of those purposes and missions, if you haven't figured it out by now. Because if you keep being the same, things stay the same and nothing new comes in and everything is just wiped out and nothing changes. You have to be willing to receive these things as well as give. So therefore, see God's work see God's plan at work in your life right now, even though you can't because you're locked into a satanic matrix in that three-dimensional linear lateral mentality with the third eye and the chakra and all that garbage. It's not the mind, it's the cosmic essence, your sacred space of where everything is. There's nothing in here except water and fat and electrical impulses that control the body. This brain doesn't do anything as far as the universe is concerned, but they will have you think otherwise because that's the one thing they can control. It's a low vibrational physical element that is controlled and tethered to that matrix that they own and they operate. That vibrational environment they created, they control it, they run it like clockwork, like a military base. Hardcore military, that's exactly what this is. Just recognize that when things don't go your way, that's because the ego's contrivances have failed. And God wants the best for you because God has unconditional love for you and sees your unlimited potential that you failed to see within yourself because you're blinded by self-destructive tendencies. I hope I'm reaching you. You got to stop having this attitude of being ungrateful or this disgusting sense of entitlement like the world owes you a living for doing nothing. This whole thing over the last couple of years is like, hi guys, everybody's so special. Everybody gets a participation trophy just for having a pulse. It's garbage. It's all garbage. Why do you think you're so sensitive to any fluctuations of change? Why do you think you can't accept the truth? You're hypersensitive to the truth because you don't even know what the truth is. You've been conditioned with lies packaged as truth. So when the actual truth comes, it blows your freaking mind and you get PO'd. It's done by design, folks. You don't live in reality. You exist in an illusion called the Matrix. And you call that your reality. And you're lied to constantly, but they tell you it's the truth. So you believe these lies to be your truth, and you exist in an illusion that you call your reality. And that is the space you operate from. And it is a disingenuous space. That's why when the divine plan is hard at work at your life, and it is right now, it is unrecognizable because it is not aligned with the vibrational frequency of the egocentric matrix, the thing that's programming you and suffocating you to death. I hope you realize this. The universal plan is always at work. You just have to release these energies that are blocking and say, universe, thank you. I failed to see it then, but I'm beginning to see it now. And now I can truly view the gifts that the universe is attempting to offer me. And I receive these things by not having a victim mentality anymore, a lack, loss, or absence mentality, a separatism mentality, a disconnection mentality, feeling like the world is against me and all that nonsense. And it's time for you to grow up because they make you, do you understand? The mind is a child. That's what they control for a reason. Why do you think the puppet show never changes? The children love the puppet show. The children love the puppet show. The puppet show never changes. The characters change, meaning the people that are in the costumes, but the puppets always stay the same because they know that you're not going to change because human beings don't change by their very nature, by their very virtue. People don't change. They always stay the same. That's why the paradigm never changes. That's why it's broken and it's never going to be fixed. Because they know you're not going to catch on because they don't give you credit with being intelligent enough to allow that to happen. I hope you're seeing this. So my words to you are this. Recognize God's plan in your life right now. Because just because you can't see it happening doesn't mean that it isn't. The universe is not going to give up on you even when you have given up on yourself. I hope you realize that is unconditional love.